Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a tactic called the 442 WallBreaker. Fantastic name. I love that name and I can't wait to see how it does. It is from someone named FM Studio. We've seen some of his stuff before. I'm sure we'll see a couple of other things later. Unfortunately, not very much is actually said about this in the description on the Steam Workshop. But it does look like that it's French on the Steam Workshop, but it translates to Gegenpressing based on a pivot attack / advanced attack duo. And unfortunately, that's all we get. So we're going to see how it does. It is, as you can see, a standard 442 in attacking. You start out with an attacking sweeper keeper, wingbacks on support, a central defender in defend, a ball-playing defender in stopper, inverted winger on attack on both sides, a CM in defend, an advanced playmaker in support, a target forward in attack, and an advanced forward in attack up front. In possession, attacking with is fairly narrow, overlap on the left and right play out of defense, passing directness slightly more direct, tempo is higher, whip crosses in the final third, hit early crosses, and then run at defense. I will say I have not had a good deal with that hit early crosses. Usually I have to work the ball in the box, but when possession has been lost, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and throw it long. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, much higher, wow. Trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, step up more, trap outside, and stop crosses. How did it do for our three teams? Well. Not well at all. All three teams, 55 to 52 points, did very poorly this season. Tottenham's schedule looks pretty spotty. I mean, you've got some wins in there, but far too many losses. But you do continue on through the cups until the Carabao Cup third round against Manchester United 1-3 at home, sadly. And then FA Cup fourth round 1-4 against Leeds. The Champions League has dropped you down to the Europa League, and you lose out to Lazio 2-3 in the round of 16 first leg, and then 2-6 in the second leg. Ouch. And then the rest of the season just is absolute crap. As you'd expect, Wolves not looking a whole lot better. You do have a nice run of 4 wins in a row in October, but as you go down, you just continue the losses. 1-4 in the Carabao Cup fourth round against Manchester City right off the bat, right after the second half. And then the FA Cup quarterfinals against Liverpool 2-3. I mean, you are getting somewhat far in the FA Cup. That's not bad, but then an awful run in April and May. Newcastle, same story. I mean, you got a couple of wins here and there, a lot of losses thereabouts, all the way into the second half. Carabao Cup quarters, you're out against Liverpool 1-5. FA Cup, you're out in the quarterfinals against Manchester United 2-3. And then, yeah, I mean, again, 7-5 over Leicester. Wow. And you just crap the entire set of May. Transfer-wise, you may want to use this section at who not to buy, apparently. But for Tottenham, you do have one out with Davinson Sanchez to Fiorentina for 14 million. We've seen that before. They do pick up Miguel Almiron from Newcastle, Semedo, Bikian again from Juve, Nelson and Wagner. So spending a bit of money, not a huge amount. I mean, you got 43 million, 14 million, and 8.25. Wolves do bring in Ruben Veso from Levante for 5.75, and they do send Daniel Podence away for 9.25, so making a profit there, unfortunately not spending it anywhere. Newcastle sending Miguel Almiron, there you go to Tottenham, we've seen that, 43 million, an absolutely great number right there. But they do pick up Malcolm from Zenit for 35. In previous, I don't know how he is this season, but in previous FMs, I've absolutely loved Malcolm. I brought him in and had fantastic runs with him. But again, don't know how he is in this FM. If you know, please let me know. I would love to see how he's been doing. With transfers, here's your squad view. Tottenham, Son, Lloris, and Bentancur all with the top appearances. Goals-wise, 33 for Kane, Richarlison 28, 22 for Son. A fantastic trio right there in this, at least in a lot of the tactics that we've been doing. Assist-wise, Kulusevski, Son, and Richarlison bring the top 3. 12 for Kane right below. And then average rating, not a lot of people. 7-3 for Kane, Richarlison 7-2-1, and then 7-0 for Son. Yeah, they've got, 7-0. Why is he not, Brian, no, but still, why is he not in the green? That makes no sense. And then for Wolves, Nunes, Collins, and Kilman all in the top appearances for Wolves. Goals-wise, 28 for Cunha, Jimenez with 21, and 11 for Costa. So not too bad. Assists-wise, 17 for Sarabia, 6 for Nunes, and there's, a bunch with 6 and 5s and all that. 17 is fantastic. Everything else, pretty much average. Speaking of averages, 7-2 for Cunha, Jimenez was 7-2 as well, and 7.08 for Traore. Newcastle, Sven Botman, Nick Pope, and Fabian Schär all up there, and Isaac up there as well. Goals-wise, 42 for Isaac. Fantastic. There you go. 26 for Wilson. Only 8 for St. Maximin. But assist-wise, he does lead with 12. Bruno Guimaraes with 11 and 10 for Trippier. Overall, I mean, just some seriously average numbers. The 42 goals is insane for Isaac, as is the 774 average rating. But overall, everything else, all the other players, yeah, it's pretty weak. 708 for Wilson. Lascelles with 705. Data hub-wise, they all look somewhat similar. Shaky defensively, very good in attack. You've got some good attacking numbers. I would not say that's very good in attack. We've seen a lot of tactics that are just huge amounts. Premier Leaguers right there, but this is, above average. Yes, I'll give you that, but not the absolute most fantastic set of numbers you've ever seen. You'll see that Wolves, somewhat similar. I mean, defensively, not very good. And then Newcastle, very similar to Tottenham there. Premier League stats, you can see Liverpool with most goals, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Wolves in there, though. 94 all the way down to 81, so not a great return from Tottenham or any of the teams. I mean, they are mid-table, so what do you expect? Nobody few shots against, nobody most possession. Tottenham and Wolves in most dribbles made. No one conceded, no goalkeeper work, no defensive work. Best pass completion, nobody. I mean, this is awful. Most shots for all three teams are in there, 580 down to 539. But overall, this tactic didn't work whatsoever for these three teams. Isaac up there with 31 goals, the most in the Premier League. And look, Ivan Toney, Erling Haaland is all the way down in 6th place. So you have Wilson, Kane, and Cunha. Unfortunately, you just don't have a lot of players spreading out the wealth. I mean, one player getting in the tops of goal counts, it apparently doesn't do all that well if you can't back it up at least a little bit. Most assists, Wolves. Sarabia is the only one with 15. Player of the Match awards, you got Isaac, Cunha, and Kane. So, I mean, again, this from about 6 and 7 is about average from what we've been seeing. 8, a little higher than average, not much. But overall, I mean, these guys are not pulling their weight whatsoever. Almiron, Maximin, and Neto with most tackles. So there's a bit of defending, but most key passes, Trippier and Sarabia up there as you'd expect. And then most shots, Isaac, Kane, Wilson, and Son. But overall, mid-table for Tottenham and for Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle's supposed to be like 8th or 8th to 10th or thereabouts. But overall, this did not work. Again, this is just a straight sim. I'm not saying the tactic is awful. I'm not saying anything about the tactic itself. It just didn't work for these three teams in this environment. If you play, I'm sure you can get a couple more wins out of it. Get some more points with your own, your own style to the tactic, tweaks here and there, your own shouts, your own transfers, your own training, things like that. But in this save, it just didn't work at all. But I am Seffian FM for the Football Manager blog channel saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.